Steny Hoyer says it ain't happening. Democrats are staying in session, but what the majority leader was very careful to point out is they ain't leaving 3 weeks early. They still could leave early, which for some Democrats actually pushing for an extension of all the Bush tax cuts still could pose a problem, a big problem. Just ask Connecticut Democrat Jim Hines, who joins me right now. Congressman, very good to have you. What do you make of talk that you guys might leave town a little early?
Well, look, in the context of the tax debate, what we really care about is what we do before they expire. Whether it happens before or after, I think, is less important than the effect, the economic effect of what happens depending on what choice we take. So I'm not all that concerned about the timing. I just think we need to act before they expire at the end of the year. Maybe,
if you don't mind, you could educate me, sir, in the congressional process. Is it more or less likely to happen? That is something you want to see, the extension of all the Bush tax cuts, whether for a year or two, in a session like the one we have now or a lame duck session?
Yeah, Neil, you know, I've been here 20 months. I'm a first-term congressman. I'm no expert on these things. You know, what I do know is...
You know more than me, and that's an easy job, but go ahead.
I honestly don't know how that plays out. Obviously, nobody knows what happens in November. But what we do know here, and, you know, I want to point out somebody by the name of Mark Zandi, an economist, you know, who runs Moody's Analytics, who, you know, is well known because he and Alan Blinder wrote a report about how the stimulus succeeded and other efforts sort of succeeded in keeping a recession from forming. Well, a week ago, Mark Zandi and Moody's Analytics came out with some numbers that, that suggested that the upper-end tax cuts alone, were they allowed to expire, would have a very significant detrimental effect on employment and on GDP growth. He says 770,000 jobs in this report if those tax cuts are allowed to expire. So this isn't about rich or poor. It's about what do we want to do right now when this recovery is hesitant and in which, you know, we've got some risk of a double dip. You know, there's arguments out there about fairness. There's arguments about fiscal responsibility. Those are very good arguments.
But at this moment, now is not the time to quibble, right?
Right now is not the time to roll the dice on the possibility of 770,000 jobs lost if Moody's Analytics is right.
On this very issue, Congressman, it's our poll question on our site. Do you believe Congress will take action on the Bush tax cuts before the midterm elections? 22% think you guys will, but 74% say you will not. So they're cynical. What do you make of that?
Look, one way or another, we're going to take a decision here. We're either going to do nothing, in which case all the tax cuts would expire, which would be economically devastating to this country because, of course, then the middle-class tax cuts expire as well, or we're going to act to allow some to expire or to extend them all for a limited period of time. The point is the economics are pretty clear on this, and whether it happens before or after the election, the key is that something happen to temporarily extend these things so that we don't put downward pressure on the economy.
But if you had to choose, Congressman, as John Boehner was once asked, the minority leader in the House, between extending all the tax cuts or just the ones on the middle class because that's all you could get, what would you opt to do?
Oh, look, it's totally clear. You know, not extending the middle-class tax cuts under $250,000 right now would be catastrophic.
So you're not in the all, again, sorry, you're not in the all or nothing club.
Yeah, no, look, the nothing argument is nothing shy of crazy given where we are economically. Can you imagine raising the tax on, you know, middle-class households in this moment in time? That shouldn't be on the table.
Even if the rich did go up?
Well, again, you know, we'll take what we can get. I've been pretty clear on where I am here, and we're just, you know, hope that we do the right thing with respect to the economy.
Congressman Jim Hines, a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Neil.